Hi everyone, welcome to the Dice Tower. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be looking at this Experiments in Living by the Spectral Quartet. The actual chamber musical group, the Spectral Quartet, released an album of this name and released this, which they describe as a card-based work of art created to enhance your listening experience to our album. Let me show you how it plays, and then I'll tell you my thoughts. Here is roughly the setup of Experiments in Living by the Spectral Quartet. Do you like these 5 interesting pieces of art that come in the game along with 15 more pieces that you don't use each game? Well, don't get used to them, because once they're set out, you immediately flip them over to this very good looking side of the card here, and this is going to tell you which 5 tracks you will listen to off of the Experiments in Living album. So first we're going to listen to String Quartet in C minor, Allegro, Movement 1 by Johann Brahms. After 11 minutes and 15 seconds of that, the next step is to listen to track 20, String Quartet 1.5 by George Lewis. After 17 minutes of listening to avant-garde and new age classical music, players will decide which of these word cards most describes the experience of switching from round 1, or track 1, to track 2. Maybe relentless, or skyward, or magnetic. Let's go with luxurious. So we're going to place luxurious here between these 2 cards. Next up, we will listen to track number 5, the Moderato by Arnold Schoenberg. After listening to this, let's go with Unspoken. And then we'll listen to track 17, and then discuss around the table what's going to work here. Transportive. And then lastly, we will listen to 9 more minutes over here. Oh, this piece was from the Real Book of Fake Tunes by Anthony Chung, who was born in 1982, a current professor of music at Brown College, actually. So now that we've created our unique track list and our 4 bridge cards, we are finished, and according to the rules card that comes in this box, at the end, under the section of winning, there is no such thing as winning in music. The connections you choose are the right ones. So what happens if there's a disagreement or discussion? Well, the rules page specifies and says, if playing in a group setting, the discussion around choosing this one card is where the magic lives. If there's a disagreement regarding the bridge card choice, stalemate shall be decided by rock, paper, scissors, best of 3. So, based on my uncontrollable laughter during the rules explanation, I think that tipped my hat as to how I feel about this, but let me explain. I think, given my background as a musician, I have studied classical music at the collegiate level. I've been in bands and ensembles and choirs, and I appreciate, to a degree, even new 20th century and avant-garde pieces of classical music, of which this album is full of strange experimental sounds. As a game, this is a 1 out of 10. There's not a game in here. It's discuss music, and then eventually you choose a card that exists solely so they could package these cards and sell it to you. There's a piece of art on the back of the 20 large cards that you immediately flip over, and that's it. This is not a game. That's why this gets a 1 out of 10. However, as a card-based work of art meant to enhance the listening experience to this album, I give it a 1 out of 10. This is terrible. This is not how people listen to music, by just hodgepodging together 5 different tracks and then discussing it for the purpose of putting out one card. If you get a group of music nerds together to listen to music, we will talk about it. You don't need to package something and put 60 of these cards together. There are too many of these cards. The typeface is ludicrously tiny. And why would I ever choose some of these words? Skyward. Why would ever you describe a few tracks of music as skyward? So, this is a very difficult thing to find. I think you have to order it off of, when you order the album or something like that. If you like this group, and that's great, I encourage people to listen to different types of music. Listen to some music that actually pushes the boundaries of what you consider to be music. And I understand that that's part of the artistry, is the pushing the limitations. If this is supposed to kind of represent pushing the limitations of what a game is, make a game and then do something to push the boundaries. This is not a game. This is not something I would recommend. This is not something that I would think teachers could use to guide conversations and analysis of music. This is not something that I would use to try and get people into classical music. This is not anything I would use for anything. The print is too small to even use for code names, extra words. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen packaged in a little card box in my life. This is the epitome of silly and strange. Don't get this. If you see it at Barnes & Noble one day and say, this might be kooky and interesting, it's not. So that's my thoughts on Experiments in Living by Spectral Quartet. You can go listen to the music. That's fantastic. Don't get this. Experiments in Living, yikes.